Imagine a robot so human-like it struts onto the stage like a real human being. That's exactly what happened when Chinese EV maker XPENG revealed Iron, its next-generation humanoid robot. In fact, to prove Iron wasn't a hidden human, XPENG CEO He Xiaopeng unzipped the robotic's synthetic skin on stage, exposing its inner skeleton and cooling fans on live television to show there really was no one inside. The clip went viral on Chinese social media as viewers realized they were watching modern-day robotics and not some crazy science fiction movie. But beneath that uncanny human appearance lies a lot of muscle. Iron is packed with advanced hardware and AI to move, sense, and think in our world. Yeah, you heard that last bit right. XPENG's reveal of Iron took place on November 5th, 2025 at its annual AI Day event in Guangzhou, China. When Iron first walked on stage, the audience had a hard time believing their eyes, all because the movements were so smooth. CEO He Xiaopeng put his ear to a vent and joked that he could hear Iron's cooling fans whirring, proof it was not a human hiding inside. This moment generated a social media firestorm in China. Hashtag XPENG robot undress test footage and hashtag what XPENG robot looks like without its skin became trending topics on Douyin, which is China's very own TikTok, almost instantly. The viral reveal was part showmanship, but it also showcased the underlying tech that makes Iron so uncanny. But other than this, what really makes XPENG's new robot the talk of the tech world? Iron is built born from within, which means that it has a human-like spine and internal endoskeleton with artificial muscles, all covered in a soft synthetic skin. That last bit isn't an exaggeration, and it's something I'll explain in detail very soon. The type of AI brain that Iron uses is very unique, in the sense that it goes straight from what it sees to what it does, meaning it doesn't have to translate visual input into words before moving. It combines vision, language, and movement models so it can react on the fly. Iron's outer appearance was intentionally made recognizably human, if slightly unsettling, as XPENG's CEO put it. Its height and proportions are very close to a real person, and it wears clothing that further emphasizes the human-like figure. But how did XPENG achieve this lifelike effect from the inside out? For starters, it has its very own style of artificial muscles. They wrap around the skeleton and are soft, just like ours. In a way, they are kind of similar to rubber bands that contract and stretch to move the limbs. These muscles can pull on the joints gently and in a pretty fluid motion, allowing Iron to walk, wave, and even do a little dance. But that's not even the crazy part. Over the skeleton and muscles is a full-coverage synthetic skin that looks like human skin. This isn't just for show. The skin is also designed to feel warm to the touch, making interactions more natural. It also hides the machinery underneath, so when Iron moves, it's easy to forget there are gears and wires doing the work. XPENG even showed there are zippers built into the skin to remove it for charging or maintenance, emphasizing that it feels like a real skin suit of sorts. However, everyone loves a bit of customization, especially me, and, well, XPENG is providing it. According to XPENG, the endoskeleton and muscle system can support different body shapes, from slim to stocky, depending on how it's built. Future customers could choose their robot's build just like they pick a body style for a car. In fact, He Xiaopeng gave an analogy. Just as car buyers choose color or trim, robot buyers might choose height, hair length, or clothing options for their Iron. Imagine ordering a female form or male form Iron, tall or short, with long hair or no hair. The world is your oyster here. Another big seller when it comes to the fluidity of the robot itself is the degrees of freedom, which is just a fancy way to point out the number of joints in the robot. Iron boasts hyper-agile joints with 82 total degrees of freedom, including 22 in each hand, meaning Iron can bend, pivot, and gesture at many points, similar to how we do. Iron's arms bend at the elbow, rotate at the shoulder, and swivel at the wrists. Can you guess who that is similar to? If you guessed us humans, you're right. Combined with the spine, it can reach forward, twist sideways, and move its arms in wide arc motions. But that's not all. Thanks to a segmented back, Iron can also bow and twist its torso, allowing it to do things like bending to pick up an object or shifting weight naturally when walking. But why does DOF matter so much? Imagine trying to wave but only having one elbow joint. It looks jerky. Iron's multi-joint freedom lets it do subtle fluid motions. If you've ever seen early bipedal robots, think stiff marching. You know how unnatural those can look. But all those joints and movements need a smart controller. Iron's brain is built from 3 custom AI chips called Turing chips, which together provide roughly 3,000 trillion operations per second, TOPS, tops, of computing power. To put it mildly, that's a lot of crunching power. For comparison, a top-of-the-line laptop chip manages only about 120 tops. Okay, that's all cool, but what does Iron use all this compute power for? Well, 2 big things: sensing the world and deciding how to move and interact. To break it down, for vision, Iron has cameras and uses computer vision to see people, objects, and surroundings in real time. Its AI chips process high-resolution video frames constantly. With this, Iron can recognize when you're talking to it, identify obstacles, detect your hand reaching out, etc. When it comes to language and interaction, Iron can understand spoken commands or gestures and respond in kind. While the demo didn't show a full conversation, XPENG said Iron has dialogue capabilities. The brains also compute the precise joint movements to walk, balance, and pose. When Iron takes a step, the AI is calculating in real time how to shift weight, adjust each joint, and keep balance. These calculations happen thousands of times per second, and that's very compute intensive. But perhaps the most interesting thing is what XPENG described as a physical world foundation model for the robot. In simple terms, Iron sees your wave and immediately knows to wave back without thinking, I see a wave. That means greeting, so I will move my hand to wave inside a blackboard. It just does it. Though nothing really works without some sort of power, and Iron's power source is an all-solid-state battery. This is big news because it's actually reportedly the first humanoid to have one. So what is a solid-state battery, and why does it matter? Traditional rechargeable batteries, like those in phones and cars, use liquid electrolytes to shuttle ions between electrodes. Those liquids are typically flammable and can leak or catch fire if damaged. A solid-state battery replaces the liquid with a solid material like ceramics or even polymers. This results in a pack that can't leak liquid or easily ignite, which is pretty great when you keep in mind that this humanoid robot might end up working indoors around people. Iron's solid-state pack greatly reduces fire risk, making it a safe option for a lot of situations. Solid-state batteries can also pack more energy per kilogram. For Iron, XPENG says the solid-state pack they use has roughly twice the energy density of the batteries in Tesla's Optimus bot, even though it occupies the same space. In practical terms, this means Iron can run longer on a single charge and can use a lighter battery for its height. More juice, less bulk. Because of that high density, XPENG was able to shrink Iron's overall size. The solid-state battery allowed designers to miniaturize other body parts, making Iron's frame thinner and the skin less inflated. This contributes to Iron's super sleek silhouette. As an example of a scenario that I touched on earlier in regards to solid-state batteries being especially useful in enclosed spaces because there's no flammable liquid to worry about, if Iron is guiding shoppers in a mall or serving coffee at a cafe, a pack with no liquid is reassuring. XPENG explicitly noted Iron's design is for indoor, messy, or unpredictable human environments, and the battery choice reflects that. Yet, there's a twist in this story. Iron is not expected to run errands or cook dinner at home, at least not yet. XPENG explicitly said household chores are off the table for now. The risk of spills and chaos in a messy home makes even this safe battery less appealing. Instead, they plan for Iron to start work in controlled commercial environments, malls, offices, showrooms, by 2026. But are you a little put off by Iron's look? Robots that look and act human can be a bit unsettling, so XPENG has built in some strict rules. First, in terms of physical safety, Iron is aware of its surroundings. It has sensors and algorithms akin to a car's emergency brakes. In fact, XPENG says Iron supports indoor automatic emergency braking, AEB. This means if Iron senses an obstacle suddenly in front of it, like a person stepping into its path, it can slam on its loose definition of virtual brakes, stopping or slowing down to avoid a collision. Sounds great, right? Wouldn't want this thing to walk aimlessly into walls, and for a friendly robot in a public space, that's a basic and necessary feature. Even more interesting is the emphasis on data privacy. XPENG has adopted the famous Asimov's 3 laws of robotics as a baseline for Iron. For example, don't harm humans. But then they also added a brand new 4th law: privacy data does not leave the robot. In plain terms, any camera images, speech recordings, or personal data Iron collects while interacting with you stay on the robot. They are not uploaded to the cloud or given to third parties. This is intended to assure users that when Iron talks or smiles at you, it isn't also stealing your secrets. XPENG wants Iron to feel safe and trustworthy, not like a personal reality TV recorder. So what this means for you and me is that you won't wake up one day to find your smart home doctor robot sold your medical data, because Iron's data stays here rule prevents it. Thank God. However, XPENG crossed off household chores, which I was mostly looking forward to. So what is Iron actually going to do now and when? Well, think of Iron as a super high-tech greeter, guide, or assistant in public settings. For example, in shopping malls and stores, Iron could stand by an entrance and greet customers, give directions, or demonstrate products. Its human-like appearance might make it more approachable than a kiosk, and shy individuals who have trouble interacting with human servers can just walk up to this guy. Other uses can also be company showrooms. Even XPENG owns several showrooms. Early Irons could work there, answering questions about products or technology at trade shows. Or maybe in a more casual way, they can act as a tourist attraction of sorts. A lifelike robot tour guide that walks and talks could be an attraction itself, escorting visitors. The possibilities really are endless in this situation. Imagine an autonomous receptionist robot handling check-ins or directing lost passengers. It sounds straight out of an early 2000s sci-fi movie. XPENG expects the first Iron models to appear by late 2026. That's when they aim for mass production to kick off. Before then, Irons will likely only appear in pilot programs or company demos. The 2026 timeline is ambitious. If achieved, Iron could be among the very first humanoids to reach general use. It would even beat some competitors. For instance, a Chinese startup Unitree showed off its own pirouetting humanoid, H2, but hasn't announced production dates. To quote XPENG's press, by the end of 2026, XPENG aims to achieve large-scale mass production of high-level humanoid robots. While our focus is Iron, it's interesting to note XPENG's ambitions in context. When they unveiled Iron, they were sending a clear message. XPENG, a company known for electric cars, is now serious about robotics. They entered the humanoid field in 2020, and Iron is billed as their answer to Tesla's Optimus, the famous Tesla bot project. Some are even noting that Iron could give Tesla Optimus a run for its money, thanks to some of the advanced features it has that Tesla hasn't announced for its own robot yet. The hype around humanoid robots is growing. China's policymakers want breakthroughs in this field, and several companies are racing to be first to market. XPENG's CEO said they're ready to spend up to 100 billion yuan, which is about $13.8 billion US, over the coming years on humanoids. So Iron is not just a one-off, it's part of a major long-term project. Yet Iron's novelty is its level of human likeness and the practical AI built in. While other robots like Boston Dynamics' Atlas or Unitree's bots can do impressive parkour or gymnastics, they often end up looking obviously robotic. Iron's goal is to look and act very familiar, to the point of fooling humans, as the unzipping incident showed. XPENG even pointed out that Iron's walking and gestures solve major problems for commercialization because humans react better to machines that look like them. Plus, there's a little fun in the uncanny valley here. Iron is almost like meeting a real person, and XPENG seems to be leaning into that. As He Xiaopeng said, Iron could become a life partner or colleague one day. Maybe that's a stretch for today, but the fact that they're talking about it is telling. For tech fans, Iron is a highly tangible glimpse at a future many have only dreamed of. To think the reality of humanoid machines coexisting with people is becoming much more real every day is insane. If everything goes as planned, by late 2026, we may well be greeting Iron at the local XPENG showroom, or seeing it giving a presentation at a mall. And with XPENG not alone in this race, we can expect even more robots, and perhaps a few dancing ones, to join the fray soon. At the very least, Iron has given us plenty to talk about, and with robotics developing so fast, today's unbelievable demo might be tomorrow's everyday colleague. As one observer noted, humanoid robots are having a moment, and Iron is pushing that moment forward a few hundred paces. The real question, however, is what do you think? Is Iron really a big step into the future? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, see you in the next one.